everyone, and welcome to Ghost Reviews. I am your host, Ghost, the artistic shut-in who loves making videos, apparently. But anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy my soothing voice, lulling you into another character's speedrun. So yeah, enjoy. First, I'd like to get into some background of this character. I think you guys are actually tired by now of hearing the clown background, but I enjoyed telling you guys this, so please let me have this. As I mentioned in my first video, the idea of creepy clowns is quite alluring to me. Even if it didn't originate from the whole It period in 2017. Something about that symbol of childhood innocence taking a somewhat scary turn really is intriguing, and is exactly why I decided to create these clowns. And they are, I think, my best collection thus far. Not this specific one, but the clowns in general. They are pretty fun to draw, and like coming up with their outfits, the color schemes. It is the best time of my day. I should also probably tell you guys that I started naming the other clowns to try and keep track of them all. So quickly before we continue, here are their names. Anyway, yeah, so let's continue. This guy that I'm drawing right here is supposed to be the ringmaster of the group. I did not give him a cane and a top hat because when I was drawing this, I could not be bothered. But I did figure that we needed one since we already had kind of the classic clown, the mute cutie, the one with the green hair, the jester, who is the one with orange hair, and the animal tamer, who is the blonde girl with a half and half everything. So yeah, and I have given them roles. I wanted to, since I've created so many of them. But I figured that we'd need someone to bring all of these idiots together. And who else but a blue-haired masked man? Yay. Anyway, let's get into the drawing itself. With this drawing, I actually did seem to pick up on a little bit of trouble. Just a tiny bit. I mean, you can't see how bad I messed up in real time, so... I mean, I've never really redrawn any of the clown characters outside of that one manic episode I had in my second year of university, so... That means that I only can remember small references of what I had in mind for them back then. And I kind of forgot what I had planned for this guy. It was a little hard to kind of remember, hey, what do his pants look like, the rest of his shirt? Because all of them, I kind of just did a headshot with the shoulders or a tiny bit of the shoulders to get kind of an idea of what a portrait of them would look like, you know? So coming up with a bigger full body reference is a little bit harder when you have so little to go off of. I kind of wanted to stick with a classic Ringmaster vibe when I created him, though. So I gave him that little red bow tie and a long black tailcoat, and I was kind of going back and forth of whether I should give him face paint or not, but decided to stick to the original concept, even though ringmasters traditionally don't wear any, like, face anything, any makeup. They're just kind of there to get the show running. I mean, I think they wear a little makeup, but not a lot. I don't think so. No. For some reason, after adding all that detail, he still looked off. And I can kind of understand why, because when I was drawing him, I was not feeling it. It was a character that I had kind of no background, a character that I didn't like, and yet another blue hair character after I drew Noah, so I was not feeling it with this guy. The pose didn't work out that well. I probably should have added a hand or like a top hat or something, because it looks very plain and his nose looks weird. Yeah. Sorry, I am criticizing my own work of art and I shouldn't, but... Oof, I didn't recognize it when I was drawing, but both these characters had blue hair. I was just doing the line art and I picked the characters randomly. But they look very similar. Very. Not a lot, but very. And the difference that they have, this guy is a merciless leader with no time for failures, while Noah is kind of an anxious little bundle of failure. I know that sounds horrible, but This ringmaster is very easily bored with his job and constantly looking for like new events that the circus can do to help make things more fun for both him and the crowd. So I kind of think he's more dangerous than Melody. It's it's a strange thing, okay? A little side note for those of you who are interested, but I really like creating the background for this character. Sure, it's easy to just make paint splatter in the background and using preschool colors, but what really it really makes it kind of look more playful and sinister having the different layers of paint as well. But I changed it quite a lot. Like first it was just red, and it was changing colors, and it was a different paintbrush, and even after all that effort though, this guy is the least attractive looking clown that I have ever seen. And that is in my clown series. That's why I'm gonna recreate all these characters. I'm gonna probably do full bodies on all of them. I'm especially looking forward to the green-haired clown because I love him, little Clyde. But yeah. Sure, I could have redone them and I probably should have, but I just didn't feel like it. Every artist knows this feeling. If you don't want to do it, you won't do it. Plus, he's not a main character, so he'll be forever cursed with that weird ass nose and that flat ass body, but that's art for you. You can't always create a masterpiece. Regardless of my failure, though, I am still gonna try and share tips with you guys of what I had learned from this absolute tragedy. So, tip number 1, stick to one light source. And then later you can add another one. Or two, I don't know. I have actually done this before using 2 different light sources. In like my yellow clown girl, she had a white light and a purple light. Yeah. But it gets a little more complicated when you start working with 3. Why? Well, simply because different light sources have different frequencies. And yes, those of you still in school will remember this. Science, baby. I think it's physics. Yeah, I didn't know it either, okay? But if you want to, a quick little practical test for you guys, get a colorful light source like white or blue. I think the blue you can get from your laptop and the white you can get from your cell phone light. And you put your thumb over it when the light is shining, right? The yellow light you will see, or even red light. The yellow light, it will shine right through your thumb. The whole thing will start glowing up and you will like see the bone and whatnot. But the blue light will not, because it's very dim, right? And this is because yellow light has a bigger light wavelength, and thus it has a stronger ray next to something like the blue light. And yeah, that's a little bit of science for you guys. So why am I telling you guys this? The point is, I wanted to create shadows based on the light with the higher frequency. I had a blue light, a green light, and I think it was a red one. No, it was a yellow one. I had a blue light, a green light, and a yellow one, right? I used the blue light to create the shadows, which was a big mistake. I should have used the yellow one and then the green one to cast more shadows, and the blue light, it only makes like highlights on the character. It does not create shadows. That is just something if you guys want to know. Unless you have like a super bright source, like I'm thinking of neon lights for some reason, like purple light from one side and blue light from another side. You're probably gonna use the purple light to create shadows, and the blue light's just gonna have like that rim on the character most of the time. Not always, but yeah. And those are just a few tips. That's kind of the general rule. And I bet you guys didn't think that physics would come into real life, huh? It would not be handy in art, but it is. And it does help a lot, but I wish I stopped to just think about it before I drew this character. And now it's too late. Yay! Okay, so the second tip that I have is if you're using digital art, use the stabilizer tool. If you're drawing with your pencil on a paper, you probably won't come across this issue, but especially for digital art beginners, you forget that you can use certain tools to help out with the drawing process. It helps you go from this to this. And honestly, I wish I used that tool when I was doing the shadows and highlights on this character, because it would just have looked so much better. And I'll admit, I was already in the mood of just scribbling away with my previous 3 drawings, so it was a little bit of short-term memory loss on my behalf, because clown characters, they're supposed to be like all there. They're supposed to be beautiful, colorful, and not this like this. No. It was supposed to look better, so I do apologize that this video is not your average video. It's a learning process, I think, for both of us. Anyway, my last tip for you guys would be to not go nuts with the shading. I do believe I've mentioned this before, but there is something like too much shading. And not lighting, actually. But if there isn't a lot of light, then there isn't a lot of shade. And unfortunately, I see the mess I made in both the hair and in the damn jacket. The hair I shaded way wrong with like too much shadow. I think I should have added less to the front of his hair, but and with the jacket I put in too much highlights. It looks like he's drenched in water, so at least I know now probably use references. This guy was at almost completely without a reference. I had one, but I cropped down. Oh, yeah, I know. This is the kind of artwork you create when you're not feeling well and when you're sick. Huzzah. Yes, I'm still sick, by the way. No, guys, it's not bad. It's just my nose doesn't want to dry up. And, of course, I don't like walking around with socks on my feet. So the cold feet equals to runny nose. Yeah, I know, I'll never learn. Anyway, an extra tip for you guys, you can skip this if you want to, is that you should never criticize an artist's work. Yes, I'm allowed to say, hey, this mouth looks kind of weird. What the hell was I thinking with a rectangular nose? Because it's my art. I can see the flaws. I know what I should have done. But if someone else sees it, I mean, I'm already hard on myself as it is. I think every single artist is. And when you go out and say something like, hey, why does his eyes look like that? You kind of just make the artist go into a deeper downward spiral than they already are in. I mean, artists aren't happy and they're overworked already, so... And probably they're underpaid. I'm just saying, that's kind of why it's hard for me to get into the workforce, because I'm afraid of putting too much effort into something that doesn't pay well. I still want to do it for a job, though. But anyway, just don't do it. Don't tell an artist how to do their job. They don't go around telling you how to teach a class of students or how to realign a house's circuit system. So don't tell them, hey, you should have used blue instead of green. You might think you're helping, but trust me, you're not. Deal with it. Do your own job. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the video, and that was my speedrun of Don. I think I named him Don, or Dan. I like Don more. And he's the ringmaster of the group. I did decide on that name, like a Don Quixote, but I didn't really know what else to call him. I could have, like, given him some stupid name like Pennywise, but I don't know, I don't like that thing that clowns do. But if you guys want to see a completed version of this guy, please check out the links in the description box. He is over on my Instagram, so yeah, he still doesn't look good. Oh, but you can still come and just say, like, hello, I come from the YouTube channel. Your art is manageable? I don't know. It's still nice to hear from you guys if you just come on and say something. I might not reply, though. I don't really do a lot of work. I just post and go. I don't know. Some people live on Instagram and I'm just like, hi, bye. Yeah, I don't think that's a good way of thinking. But anyway, that does bring me to the end of my video today. And I just hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy. Yeah. Until next time, guys, I shall see you next time. Bye!